Hello, and welcome to this stretch that we're doing. My name is John, and we are here to play D&D. Welcome back to 2023 D&D. We are back with the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and I am joined by Angel. By, if I paste in his face there, by Rogue.
I am the invisible dragon that eventually turned up. Hello.
By Ben the Quest Giver.
Greetings. It's good to see you.
By Steamed Chew.
Hello.
By Smitty.
Hello, everybody.
And by Obsolete Goat.
Heyo, I'm going to be using the wheelchair rules from Mustang Art today. Thank you again, Mustang Art, for letting us use them.
And thank you so much to Tales of Gaming Addiction for resubscribing for 22 months in a row with the message, let's go, because we're going to go.
Hey, cool.
We're going to go.
We're going to play first.
Cool.
We're just going to go. Before we start the game tonight, before we start even the recap tonight, there is a situation that we need to address. There's an elephant in this here room, and now that people on the Twitch stream are coming back in after the opening pre-roll adverts, thank you so much, Twitch, for that. We're going to address that elephant. So if you guys need to mute yourselves to make sure that you don't say anything over this, now is when to mute yourselves. As I'm sure that most people in the Dungeons & Dragons community are aware at this point, Wizards of the Coast has been looking into updating the open game license. To briefly explain what the OGL is, the Open Game License is a legal framework that allows game developers and publishers to use certain parts of existing games, such as character statistics and game mechanics, to create new games. The OGL is used by publishers of the widely popular RPG game Dungeons & Dragons to allow third-party developers to create and publish their own products that are compatible with the D&D system. This allows for a wider variety of game options for players and allows small developers to create and sell their own D&D products. In simple terms, the OGL is a license that enables other game developers to use some of the content of existing games to create new games. Towards the tail end of last year, Wizards announced that they were going to update the OGL with new terms as a part of the change to 1D&D, the new version of the game that is due to launch in 2024. Content creators started to talk about the fact that Wizards of the Coast had approached them to discuss the new OGL, but were asking them to sign non-disclosure acts in order to take part in this conversation. This is a perfectly ordinary business practice that takes place in games development, in a number of things, but it rubbed some people the wrong way. Early in 2023, a leak was made of the draft document, which included information about how the OGL would include a royalty scheme where publishers would need to report their earnings and pay a percentage to Wizards of anything they published if they crossed a certain threshold on revenue generated, not on profit. There was also a section of the leak that claimed that Wizards would be able to claim ownership of your materials and publish it for themselves with no option for you to claim it or receive any payment from them. There was also mention in this OGL leak of it affecting virtual tabletops, such as Foundry. Following the leak, a number of publishers that rely on the OGL for their business rushed to make new plans to ensure that their businesses could continue to operate. To name a few, Kobold Press and MCDM are stopping making D&D content, and Paizo, who makes Pathfinder, has launched a new open role-playing game creative license, which will be called the Orc, which will be held not by any single company and will remain system neutral. As streamers, Final Boss Fight isn't affected directly by these changes to the OGL, as we don't release printed game content, and as streamers, we fall under the fan content policy, which is a different thing. However, we believe that the OGL is a crucial tool for fostering creativity and growth in the gaming community, and we utilize a lot of homebrewed content in the game. If the changes that are being suggested are made to the OGL, I wouldn't feel comfortable streaming Dungeons and Dragons. Yesterday, or Friday, as I was debating with myself about writing this statement and how we would continue on with our streaming plans, Wizards of the Coast dropped a new statement confronting the leak. In it, they addressed the major concerns with the OGL changes that I felt were the key points in crushing the creativity of the community. With this in mind, at this point, I'm happy to continue creating Dungeons & Dragons content. However, we are going to be making some changes. Following the completion of the 3 current streams that I am running in Dungeons & Dragons, Rime of the Frost Maiden, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and Spelljammer, our games are going to be moving from Toril and the Forgotten Realms into a system-agnostic setting, our own setting, that of Tamrinor. It's also important to note at this point that this is a currently ongoing situation. The new OGL hasn't been released yet, and it's possible that Wizards of the Coast will make a change that will cause us to change our minds. This statement and the action proposed are based on the current official statements from Wizards of the Coast. The new OGL, as I say, has yet to be published, and as situations changes, our stance on the situation might also change, but at the moment, that is our current plan. That is the end of my statement. You guys can come back in again. We're going to start playing the game, and we're going to have some fun.
Hello.
Wow.
Lovely. We have addressed the Loxodon.
The Loxodon in the room has been addressed.
That was my joke, damn it. I credit. That's in the group chat that all of you on stream can't see.
I don't know what you're talking about. I can't see anything right
There's
now.
definitely not a group chat that we're stealing your jokes from. What are
Is
you
it-
talking about?
Oh.
To be fair, I didn't even see it in the group chat.
Well,
Is it covered by the open game license, your joke? Because
I've already signed up for my jokes to be licensed by the York.
so that's where we stand right now. Is my current position, my current viewpoint. Other people may have different ones, but I'm in charge. So, aha.
Damn it, John. We will take you down one day.
No, you won't.
Okay.
Back in line.
Being a DM's dangerous because like you try and overthrow them, and then suddenly the sky starts falling.
It's weird that.
Also, I guess we should address the chat to say hey to Milady Law, to Random Shern, and to Pendragon Nomad, who have all said hello in various different ways. So hello, hello, and hello.
Howdy.
Ranson hides. I've been
Hell
spotted.
was that?
Last time we played, a while ago, because we had Christmas, and the Christmas crossover special. Back in November, the last time you guys got together, Wol and Vaesen
Anafira.
and Nefira travelled to see a spellcaster, a divine spellcaster by the name of Kandra, who offered some advice, communed with Ayun to answer some questions about the situation that Wol finds himself in, and presented some not great news for Wol. Wol is pretty low right now, when last we saw him. Meanwhile, and Nuri travelled to the Spire of the Morning to visit and find out what exactly it was that Nuri is meant to be doing, and discovered that actually the fetch quest that Nuri is on has been a cover for getting Nuri out of the temple. They believe that a prophecy that says Nuri, or somebody matching Nuri's description, might reunite Lathander and 2 other gods into Amanator, a creature that a deific entity they know very little about, because he split into multiple gods a few hundred years ago, and nobody really remembers what Amanator was like. And so Nuri and are very distressed with the Spires of the Morning and the leadership of the temple. And Nuri is having something of a crisis of faith at this point. And is smashing a tree, I think.
I took a stump upstairs because I was very angry and needed to hit something.
Yeah.
I don't
Everyone's
have
having an
a
existential
pillow.
crisis.
I needed to hit something.
Everyone's having an existential crisis. Then like, I'm gonna beat up this fucking tree.
Meanwhile,
and Mason, they kind of just chill. Like, we're a little sad for you all, but like, I don't think we're under stress, are we?
Absolutely not under stress, no.
meanwhile, Toya and Zara have been resting down in the Goblin Marketplace, completely oblivious to everything that's currently happening on the surface, and just catching up for lost time, really. Whatever that means, that's up to you guys.
Oh my.
As we come back into tonight's session, what do people want to do? It's been a day on the surface. I don't mean that in like it's been a day, but you know it's been one of 2 days that you are meant to be on the surface before going back to the marketplace. So you've got another day to do things.
Can Nuri find if there be any other place that would have any information on it? There's like obviously the monastery, no, but would there be like libraries or like?
Well, I believe that Vaesen was telling Nuri about meeting Kandra, and possibly suggesting that the group that other members of the group who weren't there last time might also seek some advice from her. So
yeah,
that is an option. I do think we were comparing notes because there was a bit of like what Nuri learnt about that was sharing with Vaesen, and stuff that came out of the communing with Ayun. There was some commonalities there. So I think that was the reason that came up. I just can't remember what Ayun said outside of... Sorry, Walt.
Let me have a quick look at some notes I definitely have loaded up.
I'm just going to check to see if you stashed them in any of our journals.
I did stash it in a journal, I believe.
Between now and last session, I spilled an entire cup of tea on my notebook, and now it has been destroyed. So I have no idea what happened last session.
No.
What a waste of tea. Was it a sports? I just realised, was it like a Sports Direct mug? Just an ocean of tea.
It was a big mug.
So the prophecy that you received, the
Was it
past and
Kandra's
future... Yes, Kandra's prophecy, if you want to read that out for people.
The past and future twist. The adversary of my mistress is coming. Must protect the truth, or the darkness will fall. but the heroes aren't there. The past that you run from needs to be confronted. Salgarth flows to the port you seek, though the many-legged weaver watches the way. All eyes will be on you in the port of the skull. The one who is 3 might split again. A new dawn. That's all she wrote. Wait, no, that's not the right voice for this character.
It's like, that is the grung you bullied last session with me.
But yeah, no, there's the prophecy that we got.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for being organised for us, John.
You say that, but I'm just made a little change there because I got prophecy the wrong way round.
Well, I remember that prophecy being distinctly different. No, I'm kidding. Well, as a sidebar has just locked himself in the back room of his shop and is just doing orders and not talking to anyone.
Oh.
If I work hard enough, I don't need to confront my emotions right now. But yeah.
What would Nefira be doing beyond just running the tavern for a few more days? Or is that all? All he would be doing is just running the tavern for a few days.
You gonna trust Vason to do the shopping? Because Vason has some stuff he needs to pick up.
Shan says, if keep brain busy, brain no go walkies.
Exactly.
I don't know. I've heard
so
those
true,
words
it
before, but it just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
I try to keep the brain busy. It goes on walkies anyway. It's nice enough to take me with it, though.
Let's see where my head's at.
Have you sufficiently killed your tree? Is it paid for its tree-based crimes?
A distinctly middle-of-the-road dice roll.
That didn't help, so I'm gonna go again.
You've just tossed a coin in the air, it's landed on the side.
Alright.
See, I like to think that that's just has asked for another stump.
He is, as you'd say, stumped. I'll leave now.
I said I'm here all week.
Hey.
You know what? I'm glad that your humor's branching out. You know, you're going out on a limb.
I'm gonna guess that hits the stump.
No, the stump dodges.
I feel like we're getting down to the real root of the problem here.
Look, I know I get
Little
very
it
stiff
into a
and wooden
D20.
about these things, but it is very imperative that I stake my heart onto this.
Yes, that
I
hits.
think
You
we
can
should
roll
leave
damage.
you alone.
Oh, jeez.
And you might be barking up the wrong tree there.
No.
You slam a warhammer into a tree, and there are now splinters.
I attacked the split. No.
Yeah, so from downstairs, Nefira just looks up and thinks, for goodness sake, I'm just come gently.
It's just like
That's when you
They
look up
never
and
like
you
it
see
that
the
rough.
roots coming through the ceiling.
you've been listening to Nefira for a little while, and there's been sort of a like deep bassy sound of something hitting around up there.
Guttural.
And then all of a sudden, like, the entire room jumps a little bit. All of the glasses just and this shakes the ceiling as just lands this almighty hit on the tree with the warhammer now instead of the fists. and then
the
it falls
one hand,
silent.
I should leave him alone. On the other hand, if that was a person, there's not much of a person left.
Basically, what it comes down to, you're going to hear a lot of noise coming from my room. Just swinging
I
that
say-
thing all around the place.
Would you like me to put a sign up?
Do you think there's a sign necessary when there's that much noise coming out?
I mean, common courtesy is at least a sock.
You want me to sock the trump?
Anyway, the Fury's going to go upstairs to see what Underscum's making so much noise over. Because that last one was a bit heavy. It'll go upstairs, knock on the door. Underscum, buddy, you're decent.
That depends on what you mean by that phrase.
If I open this door, I'm not going to see something that's going to be ingrained to my memory and no amount of mind bleach is going to fix.
Are you saying that I don't normally get engraved into your memory?
Not what I meant. I'm coming in.
I am clove to do what you.
Yeah, that's the point of the people just walking and going, okay, not the noise I...
Just lots of cracks and splits and holes around the room where, oh, you could probably use your imagination.
The terrible thing the Fuhrer is using his imagination downstairs. Did not picture this. Okay, I thought there was a friend up here, but obviously you were trying to kill a mouse.
Why on earth would I want to kill a mouse? They're at least innocent.
Well, you were trying to kill something. Was it a spider? Was it one of my spiders that got out?
You know, I have great difficulty holding on to my rage and holding on to my anger and holding back when this world seems so wrong.
Have you considered needing bread?
I don't need bread, thank you. I'm not hungry.
With a K. With a K, I just come. Because that last hit shook everything downstairs.
And would you prefer me not to use that target as I point to the pile of splinters?
You see, like, half a stump and half a stump's worth of, like, everything from a pencil down to splinters.
It's more, you could aim that rage and kill somebody. Well, not kill somebody. Immobilize somebody. It's also the fact that the tavern can't take much more of a beating. You'd be a strong lad. I may have to buy some new glasses soon.
I look for someone to provide me assistance with this.
I'm going to provide that.
Problem.
Come with me, Underscum.
The worst scum alive.
Underscum, I may have something you can put that rage to. Come with me.
Nefira, did you close the door as you came in?
No, left it wide open.
You notice a dustpan and brush just kind of making their way up the stairs towards Um's door. And they just
Thank
sort of
you.
hover past you as you leave the room.
Thank you, Ghost Friend. But come with me, Underscum. I think I have something that you might enjoy.
Well, why was the dustpan and brush going in my room?
Because you made a mess.
I like my messy. Where are we going?
We're going to the kitchen. I'm going to teach you how to knead some bread.
I keep telling you I don't need bread. I'm not hungry.
It's not for now. It's for... Come with me, and I will show Underscum ways of kneading dough that will be less violent.
You
But,
say that,
like,
the chances are this is probably going to be the most violent kneading of bread you have ever seen.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Underscum, Ben, roll me a d20 to see how it
bread.
goes.
What we're baking?
Yeah, proper rage breaking.
That's
Oh.
an 11.
You work out some stress, but there's still a lot buzzing in your head at the moment. You do find that kneading bread is rather therapeutic as you start to understand that what Nefira actually means is beat the shit out of bread dough.
I need a bigger bowl.
I will have a chat and see if Wall has any, although he's locked himself in the shop right now.
And as eventually you drift off to, I guess, rage sleep at some point, because at some point sleep takes you, and you wake up the next day to many loaves of bread in the kitchen ready to be turned into sandwiches or
Taken down as rations.
taken as rations, turned into toast. There's a lot of freshly baked bread. And a new day dawns in Waterdeep. Nuri.
Yes.
The sunlight streams in through the window, because I'm just going to go ahead and assume you slept in your room at Trollskull Manor the previous night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course I'm not going to go back to...
Wandering off around the streets or something.
No.
The sunlight starts to stream in through the window, and you slowly sort of blink as you wake up. And you notice a handful of rubies that you'd picked up at some point previously that you've just sort of left out on the side, that you hadn't really given that much thought to them after you picked them up. But they're just perfectly in the rays of the sun coming through the window this morning, that they're catching the light, they're drawing your attention, they're shining red, and they're almost, the way the sunlight is catching on them, it's almost emulating the rising sun, and you can almost see sort of heat distortion above these rubies.
Okay, yeah.
It just sort of catches your attention as you're getting up.
Fascinating. Very pretty.
And I've just noticed I need to turn this sign on.
I mean, I can't, like, take a picture or anything, can I? Because it's not...
It's not a thing you can do.
Like,
You
I'll commit it to
remember
memory.
it. Commit
anyway.
it to memory.
Yeah.
You look at them, and they've all been sort of like they're cut stones. They're not like unfinished rubies. They're finished. They look like they might have been at some point a part of a decoration on something, but they've come away from that. And you just sort of picked them up because at one point you noticed them and they were sparkly, and they sort of drew your attention, and now you're just transfixed for a few minutes as you slowly wake up just by this display that they seem to be putting on, almost as they catch the light in just the perfect way.
Yeah.
And then you start to go about your day and do whatever it is that Nuri do this day.
Yeah, whatever clericy thing she has planned.
So, as you start to wake up this day, Trollskull team, what clericy things do you have planned?
Don't know really, actually. What clericy things do I have planned? No, I suppose trying not to unleash a bod would be the first thing.
Okay, I mean that's a fair way to start.
You know, I think she'd be cautious to do anything in particular. Maybe she'd like, I think instead, maybe, rather than use magic and that, probably like to help out if there's any just general stuff to do. Or more
There's a lot of bread to be
non-magic-y stuff. Yes. She'll follow the smell of bread down to the kitchen.
Okay.
Go see.
Whoa.
Hello.
I noticed that you've given yourself a level of exhaustion.
You didn't go to sleep.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
How dare you? Which one's save? That's modifier. Oh, I have a +4 on my con saves. And it didn't roll. I want. Let's roll. 19.
Okay.
You cannot stop me from sleeping, John.
You
Damn
don't sleep.
Fuck yeah.
You stay awake and you push through, but you don't feel exhausted yet.
Yeah.
You can't stop the beat.
You work through the night and you notice the sun starting to come up over the city streets. And you just sort of keep going.
Just gonna keep going. If I just continue to fill in orders, I don't have to face the crippling reality I currently exist in.
Chekhov will check in on you every few minutes and just sort of help you with packaging up the orders, bringing you the order slips through for the orders.
Chekhov's a good egg. War's not feeling very chatty, but Chekhov is a good egg.
Chekhov doesn't chat if chat is not welcome, but
Chat's definitely not welcome.
he does sort of bring you something approaching toast. Maybe have mushrooms on it. It's an odd choice. He does a lot of cooking with mushrooms.
Hell yeah. Paul isn't complaining. He likes food.
Over at Trollskull, you're dealing with an avalanche of bread.
It's a very gluten-based session so far.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it's gluten-free bread. We don't know.
Maybe.
Underscums, you know.
It's just hardtack.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be all sorts. It'd be cornbread, some wheat bread.
Melon bread.
Ooh.
What are your guys' plans for this day? Feel free to talk about them amongst yourselves.
They sell this bread.
Yeah, we got a lot of bread to sell. Although we do now have a lot of bread for rations to go back down.
That's a
Y'all
bread.
own a tavern.
Considering how many chickens were eaten yesterday, I think we've got a lot of bread and a lot of chicken feathers.
I don't know what you can do with both of those things. Like
not
separately,
together.
there's plenty you can do with.
But we just have a lot of material components now for Featherfall. It's all good.
But yeah, I
Or
think
make
Casey will
bread
come down
pudding.
and get just make like the most buttery buttered toast,
Oh, delicious.
and maybe looks for some eggs to try and make some eggy bread for people.
Okay.
Eggy in the basket.
I'm just gonna start walking out into the streets and. Is it around time where shops and markets are open?
It's probably a little early, but it's getting there where where the early traders are starting to open.
Like me, who didn't close last night.
Like Wool Shop, who didn't apparently close yesterday. That's not at all worrying.
I'm just gonna start walking. Can anyone help me with rage? Can anyone help me with anger issues and not wanting to kill and hurt and literally just going on a rampage?
Oh, so yeah. Do you say this whilst you're still in the tavern?
Literally, I'll just walk straight outside and moment. I mean, the door's not even closed behind me before you start hearing me just yelling this out as I'm walking down the street.
So yeah, you can follow. You do hear this.
I asked Jacob to
because I
close
seem
up
to
the
be.
shop real fast.
I was
Like,
going to
close the
say.
door.
Can Nuri follow? Because I seem to vaguely remember last session we said about teaching him to meditate.
Yes,
I think
that's why we
you
went to
said.
go and see your religionese. And then your religionese didn't turn out to be so good. And I don't think they're good for giving advice.
I think seeing Nuri leave, Base is just sort of like flip the toast, grab the two pieces, sticks one in his mouth so he can full on anime girl toast walk.
I was going to say, is he doing the anime like I'm late for school?
Yeah, I just passes the other one to Nuri as he like sidles up next to her with like 6 loaves of bread under his arm.
Okay.
Just carry on. I have serious problems in my head. I need to calm down and not be so afraid and not be so angry. Just carrying on. Not even knowing where I'm walking, to be fair. Just aiming for populated areas.
Nefira and Wool, are you also following this very loud thing you can all hear?
Oh yes, especially like I'm going to all the populated areas. I need to punch something. The appearance funny
Also,
me
I
goes
just
to
yelled out, I'm going to populated areas.
Knowing that isn't a big fan of Drow, was going to be like, Chekhov. Like, just the first thing having said, like, in the past 12 hours, like, Chekhov, maybe come into the kitchen and, like, stay here until this insane man leaves.
Okay, boss.
And then just goes back to working. That's
Okay.
someone else's problem. I have orders to fill.
certainly follow the loud, angry, shouting man, because normally that leads to some interesting things happening. After making a lot of bread, I need something interesting to happen.
Where's that athletic place that like a few weeks ago, Vason went to?
That is a fine question. Let me get my map of Waterdeep up so that I can remember where things are and what the hell is here that he's walking around.
Why do I have in my head, Mommy don't know?
That song is in my head so much. Actually, I should send you the best version of that song because it's the version that comes to
Nuri
mind.
don't know is getting hot in the body shop, doing something full of rage.
Or there's,
Go to
has
the
it-
rage club. Rage dance on this pole. Yeah.
Has anybody seen the TikToker Jack the Whipper?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, because he gets asked to do that one a lot. The whipping.
But yeah, if no one intercedes to talk with and if Nuri doesn't take the eggy bread, did you take the eggy bread?
No, I just went and followed.
Cool. Right. Yeah. Gonna follow up by like just jog up to where Underscum is, stop in front of him, and just offer him the eggy bread.
Yeah.
You
Just-
are You start making your way towards the high road, which is one of the major thoroughfares in Waterdeep. And you notice a lot of people are like, while there are people out milling around early in the morning, and there are vendors starting to set up in certain places, shops starting to like put out their wares at the front of the shop, like the tables that you have out on the streets. As you're going, people are doing that thing of being very interested in anything but what you are right now. That they are very intently looking at the things they are doing and putting out, and very intently trying to be like, please don't draw attention to ourselves. We aren't here. And those that can like, retreat back into their houses or walk up the very edges of the street, until Vaesen sort of catches up from behind and with a piece of toast in his mouth and 3 loaves under each arm, he sort of thrusts a piece of eggy bread towards you.
I don't need bread at the moment. I need to get this straight. Before I try to even think about going back down into that dungeon, I need to get this straight. I need to get this straight, and the people that were meant to get it straight are not good people who cannot get it straight.
Whilst that's being said, I think there's a full, like, flipping the bread into the air, sort of like, I don't know what animal does it. There's, like, animals that, like, throw a food in the air and just eat it in one go.
I'm picturing a pelican.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine if that was a dragonborn. That's kind of what you're getting.
Oh my god, you dislocated your jaw.
I mean, dragonborn jaws cannot work like normal jaws. The heads are too big.
Oh yeah, but in order to do what a pelican does, that's opening a bit further than I'd imagine they'd be able to.
You just sort of snatch the piece of bread out of the air in your mouth and just... and it's gone.
I've got 2 options for you. One, we can stop terrifying the people in the street, and we can go find somewhere where we can punch the ever-loving shit out of each other to get your rage out that way. Or, sort of turns a little bit to nervy. We find a temple, any temple. Maybe not the other one, because that seems to have ended badly for you. And see
Pretty
if
much
they've got
gonna
an
be
option.
grabbing you on the shoulders. You don't understand what it's like to be down there for me. You don't understand what it's like, and you don't know what we went through. The religions, they cannot be trusted. They treated Nuri so bad. It just makes me so angry.
I think the bread just hits the floor and is just getting a very big hug.
Oh.
2 very big men hugging in the street.
It's very
Right.
kind, but this doesn't help
You're
the
right.
situation. As I turn to start walking again, and just,
No, yeah, you're not getting out the hug.
shall I roll
right.
for
I
an
don't
athletics
know
to
what-
try and just walk while you're hugging? Shall I roll an athletics just to carry on walking?
Well, Vaesen, are you attempting to stop him moving?
Yes.
Then yes. I need opposed athletics checks.
Okay. Do.
It's 21 for you to beat.
That's true.
Pew, 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 pew.
You start to try and move off, and Vaesen is just very surprisingly to you, like, stops you moving.
Well, you let me go? I need to get this done. We only have today.
You're right. I don't know what it's like there down there for you. And I want to help you with this. We could... A third option did occur to me. Like, we could do the punching. I mean, I'm up for a good bit of a brawl. It might be cathartic. If the temple didn't help...
It goes against what I'm trying to be. I'm trying not to hurt people that don't deserve being hurt. I try not to kill because I don't have a right to kill. I don't have that side of things. I'm not ready. I am trying to live a good life. I am trying to learn the good way, and that is wrong. It's so hard.
You realise violence doesn't have to be just to hurt people.
That's all it does, isn't it?
No. And sort of sensing like a brief drop in sort of rage. Based on let's go. How do you think I got to do what I do? Training, fighting. I don't know if it's the right thing for you, but part of it is because it's fun. Not the killing of people, that's not necessarily fun, but there's something
so shy away at them.
Admirable in the practice, if that makes sense. The learning of skill, the practice of knowing how to use yourself. Does that make sense?
It's not using myself that I have the problem with. Stopping. Going too far. Letting the other side of it out.
That's part of it, is learning when to pull back, when to stop. Because otherwise you hurt. Otherwise, yeah, the violence does become hurting someone.
I've had too many already. Too many good already. I need some help because I am losing my mind when I go down there. And I ain't got that much left to hold on to.
Just to sort of get a read on stuff I don't remember in person, but Basin would remember because it's been like less than 24 hours. Insight-wise, do I think Kandra would be of any use to
You suspect that if the problems that Kandra helped Wall with, there's every possibility that they probably can't hurt the situation with they are wise, they have travelled, they've adventured, they have a line of communication with one of the gods, who isn't the god that Nuri worships. You get the feeling it's possibly a good idea for both and Nuri potentially to gain a way forward to go there.
Right. We met someone yesterday whilst you guys were out of town. I think they're wiser than I am, simply because they've seen more of the world. Because you're right, I haven't seen a lot of the world. I don't know what it's like there for you when we're down there. And while she might not directly know that, she seems to know a lot of the world. But before we go, tears the piece of eggy bread that he was trying to offer to in half. You, offering one half, eat this because people get cranky when they're hungry, and passes the other half to Nuri because he doesn't know if Nuri's had any breakfast.
No, I haven't. Thank you.
Right. I'll eat the soggy bread.
I don't know if it's going to be any good egg bread. It was rushed.
Until I realise the egg hasn't been cooked.
We're all just going to be like, oh no, later. But yeah, I'll lead them to. It was the college, wasn't it?
It was the Blackstaff Tower.
Yeah. So I lead the way to the Blackstaff Tower.
You both know the Blackstaff Tower quite well. You've been here a few times.
Yeah. Resurrected buddy and all that lot. And if I could get his weapon, everyone seems to know what he's doing. No, it was a sword, wasn't it? No, it was an axe.
An axe.
Yeah, it was an axe. It knew what to do. It told me when to kill. Told me it was
Sudden
okay
concern.
That. I won't lie. In Mason's head, there was very much a "you need to be a paladin, my dude," but he doesn't quite know how to phrase it.
You head inside the Blackstaff Tower, and the reception desk that you saw yesterday is there, and the receptionist you spoke with the previous day sort of looks up and sees you coming in, Vason. Oh, do you need to see Conjurer again?
Yes,
You-
but for
new
different
friends.
reasons this time.
Interesting. Follow me. And she leads you to the same classroom that you came to the previous day, and the door opens, and the door opens.
The door.
I was going to say, just John quickly told, "God damn, Sean, get in here now."
No, I've been waiting.
And you see, Vason, you see Conjurer at the front of the room, overseeing a similar group of about 5 students, who all sort of look up as the door opens, and the students start whispering amongst themselves.
Rude.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
For the sake of Nuri and anyone else who isn't here, Kandra, could you just describe yourself briefly?
She's very much, she holds herself very upright, has quite an air of being quite particular, and quite an air of being a teacher and studying people. When you speak to her, she very much sort of looks at you deeply, but most of the time she's got a kind smile, and bright eyes. She is Asma, so she does have a sheen to her when she's caught in the sun that kind of displays that, but it's not all that obvious to begin with. So, how may I help you? How's your friend?
Ha! I'm not here.
They've been eating a lot. They're not having a great time.
That's understandable. It was a lot.
Thank you for that help. And at the risk of earning a reputation, and sort of looks at side eyes the students in the room. Would you be able to
Andrew will just put a hand up and just sort of gesture towards the door, and all the students will just, without question, do it. They'll mutter and they'll be a little bit like...
You hear sort of a disquietened murmur amongst them as they go, we were hoping we're going to see it this time, as they leave. But they leave because they know nothing's going to happen. They know nothing's going to happen if they stay, so...
Yeah. Please grab a seat if you'd like one. And she'll sort of sit on a desk.
I think Reese sort of props himself. I imagine it's like rows of lecture benches, just props himself up on the edge of one, and just sort of lets the other two do their thing. He doesn't have a question he needs answering.
After seeing God to sit on a desk, I'll go and sit on another desk if I can find one.
So if it's not Wall that you're here for, may I ask what it is that you are looking for?
No. Do Nuri first. I need to know whether I can trust her. If she treats Nuri right, then maybe. So very sheepish, very unsure in the corner, just waiting.
Well, I wasn't here for any particular reason. Ended up following, so... I mean, I'm welcome to join in. Need me to.
I thought you were still looking for a reason.
I mean, you mentioned that prophecy yesterday that you were given from the monastery.
Yeah, that. I'm trying to avoid that at the minute, but I'm kind of thinking if I don't do anything, it'll come true.
You have troubles?
Yep. I've been told basically that I've been farmed my whole life to be kept away from what I love doing, which is being a cleric, and she'll sort of do like a little gesture to the robes and be that I might actually hurt everyone, which was why they were keeping me away.
I see nothing in you so far that would give me that opinion. Can you tell me more of the prophecy? Did they explain that to you?
Nuri will blame. I can't remember all the names and things, so I don't want to bash them.
They relay a prophecy that states that Lathander split from Amanator in the past and split into Lathander and two other gods, and the prophecy states that someone that could match Nuri's description, but also matches about half a dozen other people that Nuri knows of, and probably more than that even still, might cause the re-merging of the three disparate gods into one singular sun god, returning to a state of Amanator.
Interesting. The description sounds somewhat vague. I'm sure they... You can kind of... She drops quiet for a minute. You can just see her sort of searching her memories. Just... Hang on a second, and she'll go off, and she's got a bag of holding, and she pulls out a book, and it's very clearly a dog-eared diary that she scribbles bits and pieces in. I don't know how much they told you about me and the conversations that I had with Wall, but occasionally things come to me. I get pieces of knowledge. I worship Ioun, and we have a connection that I've built up over a long time. And And sometimes things don't make sense. Not always. Not until I find myself in the right place, so I write them all down. And I have a piece of memory, a flash, really. But I think it fits you. I feel like I know that prophecy, but it's not. And you can see her really struggling to find the words. It's not right. It was right for the circumstances, for things to happen, but isn't the truth. Does that make sense? Like, there's a greater plan for you.
Wasn't the only thing.
Iron gave me the impression that there were bigger cogs turning, that Lathander has plans and it's in hand, but that perhaps your monastery couldn't see it, that they were blind to that and refused to acknowledge where you did fit. But that he had to misguide them for them to do what he needed. I've got, and she kind of turns the book to you and you can see a picture of a magpie. A sense that you, if you are the right person, collect things.
Oh, yeah. Well, I whip open the rogue and you see the Kiss Me Quick donkey and little, like, trinkets and what have you.
Why does that come as an image of just like a rogue trader on the street, just literally holding up one side? Here are my wares.
What you buying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally what the inside of, like, Nur is.
It's just a load of counterfeit watches.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Nuri if Nuri ever got hit with like a sword or something, because like something's gonna break.
Yeah.
Mind you, there's plenty more things which could potentially get in the way of the blade.
That's where her armor comes from.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm more certain that this is for you then. That Ioun wanted me to tell you to trust your journey, that things will come together, that you're collecting the right things. Magpies collect shiny things. And that they'll come together for something. I couldn't figure out what, and it's probably best that I don't know. I'm usually told things if it's necessary, but there's a bigger picture. The monastery wasn't for you. They were only going to hold you back, is the sense I get.
No, that makes sense. Well, if it's any help, they didn't tell me what I was looking for either. They just told me to go out and look for a relic, you know.
Maybe that's why. Maybe
alone.
Innately you know. Perhaps something's guiding you, like the thunder. Either way, I get the sense that you're on a path, and it will make sense soon without the monastery's help, that it's something that you need to continue down. But that it's in hand. If that makes sense to you, sometimes they're very vague, and you can see her kind of still puzzling slightly.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I only get snippets, and even then they're patchy at best. I try to piece them together. Some, when I need details, are much more clear. But clearly you're trusted to walk this path to collect the things that you need, so I wish you luck, Magpie.
Thank you. And just sort of curtsy and be like grateful kind of thing. She'll hold out a bunch of red flowers.
Thank you.
Inside the
Feel
pocket.
better, Nuri?
Yeah, I mean, at least I know that I don't have to stay cooped up in my room, and that everything I touch isn't going to cause a repercussion to hurt everyone. At the very least, not you guys.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for that.
Little
Oh.
magpie.
Yeah.
Fraser's just smiling at your title in the corner. It's cute.
The thing is, though, magpies come in twos. That is the well-known fact that magpies will always come in twos. They'll mate for life. If you see a magpie on its own, it's either a young one that hasn't mated yet or it's lost its partner.
Oh.
And they get very
Or you're in
very
Australia and they're just flying down to attack you.
upset.
Sorry. But yeah, no, the magpies in Australia will literally just dive bomb and attack you for no reason.
Yeah, I mean,
Tiny.
they can hit, but that's why the famous saying, one for sorrow, two for joy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Honestly,
3 for a
I've
girl,
never heard
4
that.
for a boy. Yeah, it's like a prophecy kind of thing. Like it's like an old English traditional
Yeah.
thing. And you see magpies in the garden, 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy.
My nan used to say
Girl.
that.
Boy.
Yep.
3 for a girl, 4 for a boy.
That's cool. More Gorbid facts.
Yes.
Burps.
Learning you weren't expecting to do today.
Not at all.
So we get for having a teacher character in here.
So with that, I guess it's your turn. Gestures towards
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it is. I don't know what words to use. I'm thinking of what I need to ask. I am a monster trying to find humanity inside myself. One which I'm not even sure exists, but I was told it did. I'm trying to look for a better way, and my anger, my fear, my memories, they are all betraying me. I have no control over them, and I need control over them, especially down there. I can't abandon my friends again. I can't run when I cannot stand still any longer, and I need a better way. I need help. I need wisdom which I do not hold. I don't know how. I just don't know how.
From how you speak, I feel you have more wisdom than you give yourself credit for. The truly terrible among us, they don't even care to stop and think about what they're doing. Not in any meaningful way, not like you're doing. Our starts don't control where we end up. That much I know. I've met enough people to be sure. But the fact that you question, the fact that you're looking, says far more than you give it credit for. And is far more than a lot of people I know. friends are your guides in this. The people around you who you truly trust are the ones to look to when emotion takes hold, when you don't know right from wrong, or don't feel like you do. Because they're there and they're valued, and they want what's best for you as well. Your friends seem fairly well put together.
They're well put together, but they cannot help me with this. There is a beast within me, the monster which still lies. I have no right to take a life yet, and yet it is something which comes in craves. The itch in which I cannot stand still, no matter what is said to me. Before I ran, I moved on, I carried forth, but I can't do that. Not when they stand back. Please, do you have any other way that I might be able to contain myself? I'm in dire need.
One, as you're doing, pausing and taking stock. In those moments, giving yourself that time can help. It isn't an exact science. Using your energies for good things, that is the key. You can't necessarily entirely remove the anger, the urges, but you can guide them, you can aim them in different directions. It's doable with practice and with commitment. Just like myself with guiding magics and using them, they've taken time to build, and I've had to learn to steady them. There's a time and a place for them. I can conjure great things, but they can do a lot of harm. There's a time, there's a place. And I have to trust between myself and those I hold close that I will know when to use them. There have been plenty of people before you who have come from difficult backgrounds, from places that were incredibly dark, and they've gone on to do amazing things. Perhaps understanding some more about them would help guide you as well, to see that it is possible, to trust that it can be done. Because you're filled with doubt at the moment, from what I hear.
I do doubt in myself, and I doubt in my control.
She goes back into her bag and pulls out essentially kind of a newspaper. It's a little bit more scholarly than your standard one, but it is still a newspaper essentially. And hands it to you, open on a specific page. There was a half-orc who you might have some interest in understanding some more of. This person here, Romad Sourfang, their background was incredibly hard. They did not come from an easy place either. But they're currently serving under the Raven Queen, working to do good. They've got up to a point where they're trusted with that seat.
Romad.
Maybe.
Romad, that sounds familiar. I think Riordan spoke of them.
Perhaps they're someone to try and emulate, to try and not necessarily directly follow in their footsteps, but someone to get some understanding for, to perhaps understand some of your own struggles too.
Where
And
can
if
I
they've
find
done it,
them?
I'm not 100% sure. I can find out for you. I'm sure I can ask some questions.
You would need to commune at the moment to get answers from Romad directly.
I could commune if you wanted me to. The option is there.
I am dire. I don't know if I could carry on if I don't know how to control this.
Okay. I can... John, I'm assuming I can find out where they are.
You
or
can
I actually ask them directly?
You can reach out to Romad and see if you can get an answer from them. As they are not a... they are a champion of a deity, not a deity themselves. You might not have a direct line to them in the same sense with commune. But you will get to something along the right lines. Or you can just go to Ioun. Or just sort of throw a net out and see what answers.
I'll convey those options. I don't know which one you would like more.
If it comes with answers, I do not care where. If it means that I can help and protect my fellows without fear of it coming out again and turning on them once more. I don't care its source, so long as it helps. If it can help.
Perhaps casting a net is the way forward then.
Makes things easier for the great DM in the sky as well.
We all praise the great DM in the sky.
It's where you look on the stream and John's sweating and
Danny.
You can ask up to three yes or no questions. You receive a correct answer for each question, but the answer might be unclear.
how would you like to word your questions?
You might get a short phrase back. It might not necessarily just be yes or no.
If you trust your friends, perhaps they might be welcome to join the conversation.
I need assistance in words. I can sound pretty convincing, but when it comes down to knowing which ones to use, it's a very different matter. I need to find my way. I need to know. Is there even a chance for me to gain this redemption of which I seek? Is it possible for me to change, and how on earth would I do that, and how do we find that out in 3 questions of yes and no?
Hey, buddy. Sort of like puts his hand on Um's shoulder. I can only tell you the answer to one of those. It was definitely. I have faith in you. Just gotta find out where this. What did you call him? Riordan?
Riordan, yes. It's Romad is the one who will help, but Romad is apparently in this other plane, and we are just fishing nets and going fishing for some reason. I don't know why we've got to do that after this, but apparently that's a part of it.
It'll go well with the bread.
Riordan was my tutor. He helped me, and he sent me on my way to find my way to be a better me, whatever that means.
I mean, you're already a better you. You're a better you every day.
Right. I think I have my first question. But can I run it by you before we do anything else?
Of course.
Is there a way for me to control the monster that lies within myself? Truly, so that it will never come out and hurt others like it has done before. Did that sound good?
Potentially. I
miss Gimme. Oh, God, I miss Gimme. He'd know what to ask. He's all very good with those mystical things.
If the question will give you comfort, then it can't be a bad question.
This is true. Should I ask it then?
Ask it. Ask.
John, question. Do I need all 3 questions at the same time before I do it? Or can I pull out in between and, come back to consciousness and talk to them?
Technically, the spell lasts a minute, and you need to ask all 3 questions within a minute. I will allow the conversation to take place, because this is... Chandra has a special version of Commune.
Snazzy.
Chandra's Commune, which has DM Fiat.
In which case, yeah, I'll ask the first question.
And you are just asking in general?
Yeah, casting the net out, generally speaking, to see whether anyone has advice to come back.
Chandra moves to the desk at the front of the room and sort of takes up the lotus meditation position on the desk. And as they start to concentrate on the spell, and you can see sort of a glowing circle starts to form around the desk, a blue eye opens in the center of Chandra's forehead, and a pair of feathered wings flush out of the back. And she asks the first question. So, ask the question.
I will word it exactly the way that said it.
Okay.
Essentially.
The question is asked, and there's sort of a reverberation to the voice, sort of another layer of voice on top of Chandra's. as she asks it, and then silence fills the room for a couple of seconds, and you think that the answer isn't coming. And then you notice the back wall of the classroom behind Chandra, the blackboard, and the white wall sort of pull back from the rest of the building. And you realize that actually, for the last couple of seconds, it's been a giant eye of an ivory mask looking into the room. And suddenly the perspective of this shifts, and you see two eyes and a plain white mask and a cloak of black feathers, and that explodes into a whirlwind of feathers that appears in the room. A humanoid female form, still wearing a ivory white mask with two eye holes in it and a cloak of feathers, but now taller than all of you, but not building sized. Yes, the monster within you can be controlled. There are options to ensure that it never hurts anyone again. I could simply take this, and she pulls out her hands in front of her, and a golden thread appears between them. And I could snip it, and you will never harm anyone again. But that is not the answer you want. You can control this, but it will be difficult.
Will I learn it while I'm here?
In this room, no. It can only be learnt by doing. Follow the example of my champion and so many others. Find where your aggression can be used to protect those that can't protect themselves.
Is there one like yourself who can help show me the way?
There are many like myself who can help show you the way. It depends which way you wish to be shown. You can follow in my path, follow the teachings of the Raven Queen. You could follow Mistress Ioun, the knowing mistress. She teaches knowledge, but that may not be for you. Cord is the god of strength. Torm, the god of justice. These might be beings more in accordance with your skill set. But tip your hat to the ravens and the magpies. The corvids know what they are doing.
Thank you. I know I have no more questions that I am allowed to ask, so I just say thank you.
You may have
count to 3.
You may have no further questions that I must ask. You may ask that I must answer, but the offer to cut your thread is still there and will always be. You just have to get in touch. And she bursts back into a cloud of feathers and takes the place of the wall again, suddenly resolving back into a blackboard on a off-white wall. Chandra's wings fold back in, and the eye on her forehead closes, and she comes back into herself.
was unusual. I've not seen anything like that for a while. Not quite on that scale. I hope
Wow. That regularly happens?
occasionally strange things happen. I've got used to them over time, but none quite like that.
Kandra, a voice just echoes on the edge of your mind, the same voice. I take an interest now and again. I used to live here.
You can just, if you're looking at Kandra closely, she just grins slightly and nods, kind of looking slightly up to the side. Seems
Follow
to
your eyes and try and find out what you're looking at.
It seems you have someone interested in keeping an eye on you, as it were. She takes, as she said herself, takes interest sometimes.
And indeed, someone who I may have to call upon if I can't figure out else.
Quite possibly. I can give you some books on the various religions that were mentioned, if that would help. I know from the conversations we've had that your experience with religion through Nuri hasn't necessarily been the best.
No.
But there are still teachings they can give you. Not them directly, thankfully, but there are options. And given the response you've had, I think it would be worth having a look.
Thank you. I'll try.
She'll sort of head back into her bag of holding and pull out a couple more books, and will sort of wrap them up slightly in a bit of a parcel for you and hand them over. I hope the reading helps. It's not easy to know where you stand in the world. I had to deal with that when I was younger, but you come to find your place, and you find contentment when you do eventually find it. There's a space for everyone in this world. It's just...
That I'm not so sure about. But I suppose that is to be found out.
Yeah, I have faith you'll find your way.
I'm glad one of us does. Thank you again for all your help.
It's okay.
And thank you for helping Nuri. That was more important to me.
Just remember that your friends are around you for a reason. And this group is an interesting one, but they seem good at heart.
They do, don't they? Well, a bit funny looking, but yeah, along those lines. Basically start turning around and thank you for your time.
Some of the best groups are somewhat peculiar. But yes, unless there's anything else I can help you with, I'll bid you a good day and get back to teaching.
Mason, do you want to do?
I don't think you have answers for my questions, but I envy your gift.
It's taken many years of practice. I've worked a long time to get where I have. One day you'll get there, I'm sure. Each of you will find your place.
Thank you for doing my friends this kindness.
That's okay. I'm not likely to be here for much longer, so chances are you won't bump into me again.
No.
I move around regularly teaching, but if I'm ever in the area and I do hear of where you are, I'll see if I can pop in. I just can't promise anything.
We just see I'm sort of peddling around a bit and just takes up a set of manacles and gives them here, and take this as good favour from friends.
Hey, have some handcuffs.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the offer. I, wish you all well, and I hope, for Wold's sake, things are processed in as short a time as possible for their sake more than anything. Good luck to you all.
If there's anything you ever need.
I'll keep that in mind. If you are done with the books at any point, do feel free to drop them back here. They'll pass them back to me whenever I next pass through.
Okay. I mean, I'm a bit of a slow reader, so it might take some time, but
There's
okay.
no rush. No rush at all. Have a good day. And with that, she'll kind of gesture for you to head out so that she can let her class back in.
Bye.
You can hear as the class start to come back in. She did it again, didn't she?
I think Rayson leads towards one of the students as they walk out and just go, "It was even cooler this time." Just to wind them up.
You're not wrong, though.
The Raven Queen.
Oh, yeah.
You asked the universe, and really, her champion's busy, but she's got some time.
I've got some time between ferries. It's all good.
That's why you've got to have champions. You delegate.
Yeah.
Only good managers know how to delegate properly.
You've got several books now, one of which has a fist grasping a lightning bolt with a great sword clasped within the fist, which speaks of the Storm Lord Cord, or Cord the Storm Lord. And another book which features a right-handed gauntlet held upright with the palm forward. The Book of Torm, the Loyal Fury.
Oh, the Stormlord and Torm, the Loyal Furry.
Fury.
Red Fury if it's one R.
Oh, right. No. Fury. Got you.
Like with Nuri's name, it's spelt with one R.
We're not kink shaming the Raven Queen now, are we?
She's got a lot of threads and very many scissors if you do.
I am going to take some time with the rest of this day and read these books.
Okay.
And it is probably going to take me the day to read these books.
I will tell you later what you read because, well...
It gives you a chance to let other people...
One, it gives us a chance to do things with other characters, and it gives me a chance to... And now we learn that Tanny wasn't watching earlier. Which we already knew because they didn't mention it. Hi, Tanny.
Hello.
I did tell you to watch tonight.
I'm coloring your metal stuff.
Poor thing.
Sean, thank you for guest starring once again as Chandra. Yes, I want you to finish my metal boy.
It's looking so good.
Thank you for guest starring again as Chandra, and if well, as everybody's left and the classes have restarted, if you want to head off somewhere else, you are more than welcome. Or just sit here muted, it's up to you.
I'll be back at the end.
Fair enough. Am I meant to get them back at the end?
They are coming back now. They are the DM now.
Oh. I'll pack my things.
I am the captain now.
At this point, Nefira,
Yes.
a lot of bread left the shop earlier in the day. A lot of the bread left the tavern with Vason taking 6 loaves and several slices of bread with him, but you are still left with a not insignificant amount of bread. Is there anything that you wish to get done during this day before you head back into the dungeon? Or are you just working the tavern and just having a reasonably quiet time there?
Nehira's just going to have a bit of a quiet day, try and sell some of this bread and ponder if Mason's going to sell the loaves he just took. Wrap some up so they're good for rations, for dungeon delve. And he might dig out some of his old notes and things as a mercenary and think about fortifications and things like that, since we've got Drow to deal with and it's on his mind.
Okay.
Well, Drow and bugbears. Ugh. Just thinking about it makes me think, oh, this is going to be too much hassle. Nothing too drastic.
Hello.
Is anything drastic happening at Wall's shop this day?
Wall is continuing to pretend his feelings don't exist and is just working, because if I just continue to work, then I don't have to face the crippling reality of my situation.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I don't know why, but I can't take this image of you, like, every so often you'd make something and, like, it just has etched all your problems coming out.
He's like, why does this keep happening?
Meanwhile, somewhere 2 levels below the surface, in the dungeon, in the remnants of the goblin market, in Susan's office slash throne room slash the leader of the goblin market's throne room, laying on a pile of cushions, we find Zara struggling to push off the two to three blankets that Toya has placed on them. Incredibly comfortable and slightly annoyed by the excessive caretaking, but also very grateful that they are in a situation where care can be taken of them again. How is Toya doing?
I'm fine. I don't know why you're asking. You're the one who's been hurt. Do you need soup? I can get you soup. You should have soup. Wait, soup is good for people. Well, you're not really sick, but you did get hurt. So soup, do you want something solid? I can get you some meat. I'll get you some meat. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and get you some meat. I'll be right back. What?
I'm just a little tired. It's fine, I just need some rest. You don't need to get meat.
Right. No, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna see if I can find like a healer, and do you want some more blankets? I can find some more blankets. I mean, oh my God, there was that weird thing up. I think it was 2 floors up, and I can maybe kill that and get you its robes, or
I have plenty of blankets for the moment.
Are you sure?
Go and find us something nice for dinner. I'll just stay here. Checks and balances are in the corner. It's perfectly safe. Everybody's trying to remember these weird character names that they came up with years ago at this point.
I just don't like the idea of leaving you alone. It's not that I don't trust these guys. These guys are great, but those fucking elves, they're just... They had the nerve. They had the nerve. And if they had the nerve once, they might get it again. And really, I should just slaughter them all. I think it would make a good deterrent, don't you?
I like your zeal. Let's maybe focus on not killing all of the people.
I'm not gonna kill all the people, just all of the stupid drow.
We'll deal with the ones that are problematic.
Why are you such a good person? I love you.
I love you too. Now let's just wait for your friends to get back, and then we'll go and deal with the problem. Not all of the race. Let's not genocide anyone again.
It's not genocide. I'm pretty sure you need to have a specific number for genocide, and I'm pretty sure there's drow in places other than this cave. It would just be a selective slaughter of the ones that are here.
Okay, let's focus on what is between us and where we are going. Where are we going right now? Do you you were coming to rescue me, and then were you going somewhere else in the dungeon, or?
Yeah, see, I kind of agreed to help these guys out if they help me save you. So
I'm perfectly on board with that. It seems
good.
fair that they aren't just that we travel with some people,
don't just
travel
leave them
with some friends, and don't just abandon them the second they've rescued me.
They're kind of cool, actually, and is amazing. Ooh, I can't wait till you meet him. He's like me.
Oh boy.
I know, right? Exciting, isn't it?
That's one word for it.
I just worry. I want to make sure that you're okay.
In this place, there are plenty of people here that will... The drow can't get to us here. Just go and find
I'm not worried
something...
about that.
Go and find something nice in the market for dinner. Speak with Glom. I think he's working on the food stall at the moment.
Well, I mean, if you want, I can always hunt something for you. You know I'm always happy to, go and get you one of your favorites.
I mean, there's plenty here that's already been killed that we can just cook and eat.
Oh, I know. What if I found some spiders and made you some fresh spider on a stick? You haven't had that in ages.
I know. It has been a while.
And there's some really big ones. Like, we fought a whole bunch of them. Do you want giant spider on a stick?
Is that better?
Well, it's bigger.
Oh, great. Yes. If that'll make you feel better, let's have giant spider on a stick for dinner. Do we need we probably need a bigger stick, right? Like if it's a giant spider? Or do we even need a stick at that point?
I suppose I could just roast the spider.
Yeah. Why don't you get some roasted spider?
I suppose I could kill that chimera and we could eat that.
I think that's down a level, isn't it?
Yeah, but so are the spiders, so I'm gonna have to go down there either way.
Maybe just stay in the market for now.
Oh, okay. All right. If you're sure. But if you decide you want something else, something specific, you let me know.
Okay, we'll wait for your
Like if you have a
friends to get
craving.
back. They're supposed to be back tomorrow. At some point, but
Oh, yeah.
and then we'll work out where we're going next.
Okay. I think we have to go to something port. Bone port. Hypothalamus port? No, that's not it.
Skullport?
Joint. Oh, that's it. You're so smart.
Okay. That's not too far.
Because one of us needs to deliver something, but I'm not sure what.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's the emotionally constipated one, but I could be wrong.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Yeah, I know. A lot of us have about the emotional constitution of teaspoons. It's not the greatest.
We need to work on that.
Probably.
Okay, just go to the market, find some food, speak with Glom. I mean, he's the only other named goblin I know of at the moment.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Maybe go and
would
do
you-
some
do you want-
woodwork with the woodwork class.
I could do that. Oh. They took your hairpin. Do you want me to carve you a new one?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
They took everything. And we did do a lot of looting, but I didn't find any of your stuff. I'm sorry.
I'm sure we'll find it. Or I'll find new stuff.
That's true. They said I could have some of the treasure. So, if it's a lot, then I can buy you proper things instead of just having to make you things. 'Cause, well, I mean, I know I'm not rich or nothing, but
That's never been a problem before.
I know. I guess I just feel bad because I've never been able to give you the stuff that your family could.
There's a reason I left them.
That's true. They were kind of assholes. No offense.
They had issues.
Issues is a word for it. Issues is a word.
We'll deal with
Mostly I'm just...
we'll deal with that problem when we get to it.
Yeah. Oh. I made friends.
You did.
I did. They're actually kind of cool. I don't mind them so much. They're really neat. Is really funny, but the poor guy's got issues. But I think they all kind of have their own respective issues. So hey, who am I to judge? And then there's Wool, and Wool is cool. I didn't think they liked me at first, but I think maybe they're warming up. Maybe.
That's
Possibly.
good.
Not sure,
You
but
are
I
a
mean,
bit of an acquired taste sometimes.
I'm obnoxious.
Yes, you are.
But you're still in love with me.
Yes. Nobody slaughters quite like you.
Oh, and they have this amazing shop. It's actually really, really cool. And then, they introduced me to something really cool. Did you know there's something, there's a thing, it's like a grass, and it's something, hold on, catnip.
Ah. I was wondering if you'd ever find that.
It was amazing. You've known about it. Oh.
It's
I felt so floaty.
not common in a lot of places, but
Oh, that's a shame. It was nice, but oof. I have to admit, I can't say I'm that much of a fan of not being able to, think properly, but it was still nice. It was different.
Well, maybe you can try it again sometime.
I hope so.
And there are others as well.
There are.
Your friends, not... I mean, there are other grasses too, yes.
Oh, yes.
You have other friends.
Yes, we have lots of friends. But I think one of them disintegrated. Because I'm pretty sure there was a whole nother person on our team, and then I haven't seen him in a while, so I think he might have, I don't know, maybe he was eaten by a bear.
I'm sure somebody would have mentioned that.
You know, you would think, but...
Did you encounter a bear?
Not that I know of, but there was a point where everybody was kind of running around everywhere, so we didn't know where a lot of people were, so it's entirely possible that he ran across a bear, and we just never saw it because we didn't see the bear.
Oh. Well,
Yeah, it was
maybe.
weird.
I still think people would have mentioned it.
You would think.
And this continues for a while.
Doting girlfriend is doting.
Is there anything anyone else would like to do throughout the rest of this day?
There are a few tasks, but there are like 2 stops that Basin wants to try and make today.
Okay.
One is to stop in with Wall, just to drop off the bread, and check in on him.
Okay. At what point during the day do you do this? Sort of after you've had this conversation with Chandra, it's sort of early afternoon. Would you go straight there, or would you do some other things and go later in the day?
I think it's going to be late in the day because I need to go collect the crown and scale edge again. It's going to be useless. I will be useless down there without my sword.
Fair. You can
grab a
easily
little bit-
pick those things up.
Yeah, like picking up some odds and ends, like things for Haleth's little funeral, those things. But yeah, mostly it's head to Seawall and then he's going to go diving.
Okay. I assume knocking, or is the shop open?
Yeah, Wall only got Chakov to close the door when was running around outside talking about murdering people. He's like, I'm going to close the door for a bit, but yeah. The shop is open again, Chakov's in the front, Wall is in the back. Still working.
Vason, you enter and there is Chakov wearing a ridiculously wide-brimmed hat,
I love that hat.
which he has customized with a jaunty feather.
Oh my god, he wants to be Jarlaxle. Oh.
Have you tried a flared long coat with that?
I have not, but I think this would go over quite well, yes?
Something with a really rich color. Maybe like
Like a deep blue? Or purple? Maybe something to consider after my next, payday.
Oh, I should really start buying things on my payday. I wonder if we get a salary.
Are you,
Anyway, no.
you here to give me sartorial advice, or is there some other deeper meaning to this visit?
No, I was just coming to check in on Wall, and sort of, he's well aware that he's carrying a whole bunch of stuff, including the 6 loaves of bread. And
Yes,
he sort of shuffles and drops the bread on the table, and hands one of them to Chekhov specifically.
this is some very fine bread. Very little trilmac flour used up on the surface, I have noticed.
What flour?
Trilmac flour. It's a drow flour made of crushed mushroom.
That honestly sounds rad as fuck, like, not gonna lie.
We don't have
some biscuits at some point.
we don't have much in the way of agriculture in the Underdark. It is we make do with what we have. It's functional. You are Wall is out the back. I don't know if he's seeing customers, or maybe we'll see friends. Maybe for 5 loaves of bread he will see friend.
I mean, this isn't a payment. This is because
He likes bread.
been hungry.
He likes food. It's a good way to open a conversation.
Well, if you can do me a solid, that recipe for like make for like some drill mat recipes.
I'll see what I can do. See,
If I'm gonna be down there, might as well
drill
try
mat
the cuisine.
mushrooms.
But I'll scoops up the remaining 5 loaves in sort of like a bundle in front of him. Like waddles round to the back door.
Is he like
Sort of
is Vason like got the sword and the crown and
All his shopping.
just all
Yeah,
of the shopping
like-
you've done, like the things that you're going to go take diving in a minute?
Yeah, basically, like he's got the crown on his shoulder again.
Okay.
And like the sword is sort of like propped in the room.
Right.
So I thought, good, TP'd. I'm going to bed. I've got to be up in 7 hours.
Super.
Right.
Go ahead and shut the living room door if you want.
Alright, hips up on first day, buddy.
Good night, Angel Mama.
Good night, Angel Mama.
Good night.
John and everyone says good
Good night.
night. Because I forgot to mute my microphone again.
But yeah.
Sorry about that.
Sidles through with the loaves of bread.
It's like
Pushes the door with his foot.
Wall, you just hear like a noise as Vason sort of subtly walks into the back room carrying massive bundles of shopping and things.
He's currently just encircled by like half a dozen projects, got his like welding goggles on, and is just concentrating really hard on not thinking. But like,
Vason puts.
so,
I think Vason like puts all the stuff down on. There's no clear surface, so he just puts it down like on a bed.
yeah.
Just rips one of the loaves and it like rips a chunk of bread out on one of the loaves. And just grabs bowl, turns it around, and just puts bread in his mouth.
He's like, oh hi, he says after beating the bread. Pulls his goggles off and is just like, I didn't hear you come in. Are you okay? Do you need did I order? It's just, did you order something? You're talking about? I can't remember.
When did you last sleep?
Kind of like looks at the projects and is like, I haven't.
You see sort
I don't
of
know what time it is.
various parts of arms and legs and just sort of vague things, some of which you can work out how it goes together, others that are just like metal and pipes and shapes that you can't, you know, is going to come together into something at some point, but you can't quite picture how it's all going to fit together just yet.
I haven't.
Sorry. Like, Vason just had this brief moment of thinking aloud of like, it'd be cool to have artificial wings. But no.
I can
Yeah.
do that now.
Have you slept? Like,
No.
You need to sleep before we go down.
I'll definitely do that. He lies.
I mean, do you want to make that an insight check, or is it that obvious at this point?
It is very obvious he's not gonna sleep.
No need for insight check.
It's obvious. I can't lie to you, Vason, with your abysmal insight.
Wow. What is my passive insight? I think that's actually worse.
Your passive insight would be 12.
Wow. God, I'm not rolling well today.
You're not on the ball.
Oh no, I rolled well against Underscar. Sorry, against
You just
Apparently
you try to believe Wall. You try to believe him, but you know that he's, unless some action is taken or you stay here and ensure that he does, he ain't sleeping.
I have orders to fill.
You always have orders to fill.
Yeah. But I have, at the moment, a lot of orders to fill. He says, like, obviously the list of orders has gotten very low. There's, like, a little, like, pile of, like, completed orders, and the incomplete orders pile is tiny in comparison to the complete orders pile. It's like, I have so many to do still. Yeah.
You also notice, Faison, that there's a lot of parts that... Probably there's too many parts to match the number of incomplete orders. There's just bits that Woe seems to be working on...
For fun.
Just on the off chance that they're needed, or, you know, he's just doing it to do something.
I think Reason, like, picks up something that isn't like that is clearly not an order, just picks it up and sort of takes a look at it, and is about to press a button on something.
Like, no.
What's this do?
No. No. Paul's gonna grab at it and go, no. It's I
full just asshole lifts it as high up as it can.
no.
It's outside of Wall's reach.
This is
What's it
unfair.
do?
I can't stand up. You're a dick.
Yeah. What's it do?
I think like squint. I think I was testing ignitions. So that could electrocute you or blow up. I don't know which though. Not good if you touch the button though. It's one of the two.
Kind of like drops, it just sort of like tosses it into Wall's lap, gently.
Takes it, puts it on the bench very carefully.
He said don't touch the butt.
Jesus Christ. Toya. Sorry, that threw me. Are you gonna be okay for tomorrow? For tomorrow? I think we're going down tomorrow.
I think so.
I was watching Finding Nemo.
God, it's only tomorrow. Whew.
Don't make me make Chekhov check on you.
Chekhov's attempted to, yeah. No. I've kind of sighs. It's like, I really don't want to think about it, introverted comments, right now, and, this is helping keep my mind distracted because, yeah, I didn't quite realize how bad it was, and, I don't want to think about it, and you know what? The longer I don't have to think about it, the better. And if I go down to the underground and I'm really tired, I don't know, maybe the messy business can just come to an end organically.
Like slap across the face. No.
Oh.
That's twice people have insinuated that today. No.
It's like, I've heard shouting before. I presume that was him.
It was I think you should talk to him about that.
You know, I don't want anyone to know about this. And as much as a lovely person, as well as everyone is, I think they'd probably kill me on sight if they actually knew what this bullshit is.
I meant his business, not your business.
Oh.
And in fairness, I think he might understand a little more than you think.
You know,
I I wanted to check you were okay. Or at least functional.
Like I'm not feeling that tired, weirdly, even though I know I've been awake since. We have like scans the room. There's like an entire like animal size feed of like grain that's like mostly depleted. He's like 38 hours. That looks of it. Whew, I got through a lot of that. That's like 2 days worth of food for me. It's mad. I eat so much.
It passes
Come
over the torn loaf and puts it in wall slap.
It's like,
Right.
yeah, thank you for these. I'm gonna stress eat more of these. These are really nice. Like,
Oh, seemingly stayed up most of the night kneading bread.
oh, nice. I mean,
Oh my
kind of
god, the
dense.
rage,
I like dense.
the rage baking and the stress eating are going to cancel each other out.
If bakes his sadness away and Wall can eat it, who needs therapy?
Jesus Christ.
I do.
I mean,
Oh dear.
Raise his hand in the court.
Right, cool. I need to go swimming and talk to a dragon.
Oh, don't drown.
Just brings out the water breathing potion that you bought yesterday.
Oh,
drown.
well,
That was rude.
take Chakov with you, just to make sure you're not alone and don't get eaten by a shark or anything. I heard there's like a mean shark in the bay that's like eating guys.
A shark?
Yeah, it's like a big old evil shark. I mean, I don't think sharks are innately evil, but like there's a shark and it's a dick. Take Chakov with you.
I do not know what I will do against this shark, but I will definitely tell your tale.
Yes, you Chakov can at least say where you're. I don't know what a shark.
And if you lose an arm or a leg, I know a good place for you to go and to buy a new one.
Oh, you're learning,
You are
Chakov.
unsettlingly into your sales work.
He's very good at it.
This is the second-hand shop.
God.
The marketing,
terrible, and I love it.
the marketing does not have a leg to stand on.
See, so my sword is in the other room. I think this is the first time Vason's felt the urge to summon the sword.
Please don't kill my one employee.
Doesn't
Toya's
work.
just
Do so. No.
Toya's just in the dungeon, and her ears twitch, and she goes, "I feel like I've missed an amazing joke."
Well, Chakov, at least if you get attacked, can pull you back onto the boat or tell us. I don't know. Just
I will definitely let your friends know of your heroic sacrifice to the bay.
yeah. Emotional support, Drow. Just take
Just
it.
look after the boat.
Yes, I
Just
will.
Sort of like
I will look
summons
after
the
the
sword
boat.
and walks through Chekhov. If Chekhov does not move, he's gonna get walked through.
Oh, he moves. And as you sort of reach out for the sword, it shakes for a second and disappears and appears in your hand.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
And then you
I'll let
sort
you
of
look at the crowd at some point.
think about it for a second, and it disappears from your hand and appears slung across your back in the sheath.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's the
And
raddest
sort of
thing
like
ever.
makes his way out to the harbour.
Chakov will follow you out to the boat.
But yeah, so I think Vasa just borrows a boat. If there's somebody in it who looks like they own it, he passes, I don't know, a few silver.
You
To
rent a
borrow
boat. It's easy enough to rent a little rowboat. Chakov will point out, this is the first time I've been out on a boat, so this is a new experience for me. I hope I do not need to do that much to to assist you with this. I also hope that you do not get eaten by a shark, because I'm not sure I can get back to land.
It'll be fine. Vason isn't wearing armor, by the way. He is basically just wearing sort of like daily clothes with the sword, because he's been walking around Waterdeep all day.
Do try to not get eaten by a shark.
It'll be fine. The dragon's more likely to eat me than a shark.
This is not reassuring, as the dragon is the one that you are actively going to hunt for.
Yeah, because we're friends. Well,
your friend is likely to eat you. Actually, I've known Wall a while. If he does not get fed enough, he may be. He's dog eat dog. You know, it's. I make sure he get fed. I go buy the food a lot. It's. Yes. Good luck.
It's like, is Chekhov actually coming on the boat or not?
Oh, Chekhov, at this point, I'm assuming you are on boat and, rowing out to the center of the harbor.
Yeah, I'm teaching him the basics of rowing a boat.
Okay.
Whilst we're on the way out there, but I go to basically the deepest point, or roughly what looks like the point that we surfaced last time.
Okay.
So, and swig the. How long's the potion gonna last?
I believe a water breathing potion lasts for an hour, but I will double check that.
Imagine you can't drink a potion underwater.
No.
That feels mechanically difficult.
You can breathe water for 1 hour. It is a cloudy green fluid that smells of the sea and has a jellyfish-like bubble floating in it.
Yeah.
Ew.
Well, hopefully this tastes better than it looks.
It doesn't.
It tastes a little salty.
Could use that to sauce some beef. Well, no time to waste. And just sort of rolls backwards off the boat and swims down.
You go under the water and the water fills up your lungs, and it feels a very odd sensation to have water in the lungs, not air, and you feel for a minute what if the potion didn't work? And then you just start breathing normally under the water. You head down and it's dark, but you've got, I assume, you have brought your goggles of night vision with you.
Yeah.
So you can see out to 60 feet as if it's grayscaled. And eventually you get low enough in the harbour to be able to see the bottom of the deepest point, and you can see several shipwrecks. Make me a perception check, or tell me how you are attempting to gain the attention of the dragon.
I think to get the attention, I think he's gonna walk towards the shipwrecks, but at the same time he's sort of gonna tweak how guiding bolt is normally used, because normally it's just here's a bolt light, go straight line, hit something.
Right.
He sort of uses that that casting to essentially create a circling light around him.
Okay.
If that's doable. It's there's a little glowing thing of divine energy around him as he sort of walks towards the shipwreck.
I'll allow it for dramatic purposes.
You want to have a perception check. That is a 19.
Okay. You spend a few minutes sort of not quite walking on the bottom of the water, or on the bottom of the bay, because you are buoyant and you float, so you sort of swim around at the lowest level. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, every so often just sending out this little ball of divine light that sort of circles you for a minute or two and then dissipates out. You see some movement and a large shadowed shape sort of almost looks like it flies out of one of the shipwrecks at the far end of the bay and zooms towards Vaesen and stops in front of you, and you just see the draconic head. Hello.
I think Mason just tries to talk. He's never tried to talk with water breathing. It's just like, I figured it would be politer if I visited for longer this time.
You are welcome here. You can visit when you like.
Oh, thank goodness. Frankly, it was 50-50 you were going to throw me out of the harbour with your tail.
Is there something you have come to ask about, or...?
Two things. The first would probably be how can I do a service for you? But I think the other is more existential at the moment.
I enjoy treasure. Magic items or gold. You could hide something in a shipwreck that I've already searched and found to be empty. The joy of finding things is very nice.
Oh my god, the dragon wants a little treasure hunt. That's adorable.
I can see about doing that. You can also find something underground for you.
Yes. We cannot go into the town. But you could bring something from there out here.
Certainly. But whilst you dwell on what that might be, do you think things can challenge their existential nature?
That is a very deep question. I am a young dragon and not one for philosophizing.
Just what the monastery taught was so deterministic. You were what you were identified as, and that's what you tried to become. Like, literally, I was taught to try and become you.
Specifically or existentially?
No.
Because I'm already me and I don't wish to share that.
Well, to become like you, to become a bronze dragon.
Yes. It is a good existence.
I mean, on a practical level, there's the how of it. Which, my understanding was always a case of mimicking and understanding the behavior, the habits, the way you live. But I'm not... Is that right? Is that really how someone could become a dragon? And is that even desirable? I've got 2 people who fear their nature so much that one hides from it, and bless them, they've been told that they can't change it despite desiring to, and another who, thankfully, has been told that they can. And whilst I still believe in the ideal of becoming a dragon, I don't know if that's it has to be bronze, or if it even needs to be known. I don't know. I didn't have anyone else I could talk to about this.
Being a bronze dragon is pretty awesome. But that is what I was born to be. I hatched from an egg as a bronze dragon. I did not aspire to be it. I did not become it starting off as something else. There are legends of people who have wished to be more than they were born as. Those who have disappeared from Discord calls. There are those who have spent their entire lives chasing a dream that could never be. And there are those who had the willpower to make it succeed, but regretted the things they lost along the way. It is not an easy process to become that which you are not, but it is doable. Depending on your starting point, your end goal may be more attainable than others, but ideally you wish to be the very best version of yourself that you can be.
That seems almost modest compared to some of the teachings.
I am the best version of myself that I can be at this time. I am a bronze dragon already, so I got a leg up on you trying to become like me.
Is it true that dragons can mark one another and share things?
There are some magics that are known like that. I do not. I do not know them. I am a young dragon, not very knowledgeable about such things. I'm making my way in the world, seeing where I belong.
Because that's where I am.
Then you are also a young dragon making their way in the world. You are like me.
As much as you said I could hide things for you, or maybe retrieve something for you.
Yes.
If I learnt of that sort of binding, what would I need to do to earn it?
You mean the dragon mark?
Mm. Sorry, that's impertinent of me. I shouldn't be so blunt.
You should be very careful dabbling with such magics. It is easy for them to go awry.
Well, it would be... hopefully I can pursue such a thing in a manner that is brave rather than foolish. But no, and I might ask that another time. It's impertinent to have asked that, since this is the second conversation I've ever had with you. I only have a little bit of time, but would you tell me more about what life is like as you?
We can breathe underwater. We swim as well as we fly. The two are almost the same, just the medium through which we move alters. Things that are smaller than us, that are prey. They tend to get out of our way.
Speaking of which, apparently there's a shark in the harbour?
We may have heard tale of such a thing.
Are you convincing people that you're a shark?
Sometimes it is easy. We are meant to be hiding.
What, from the city?
Yes.
Or something else?
Waterdeep doesn't trust dragons. I'm not supposed to be here. I get into the harbour, but I can't go into the town.
I thought dragons could shapeshift.
Yes, but they are still at their core a dragon. Ancient Magics was put up over Waterdeep. A dragon ward that stops both chromatic and metallic dragons from entering the town.
That's tragic.
It is how things are. We understand the distrust of the chromatic, and unfortunately, we accept that we need to stay away. There are rumors that there are dragons within Waterdeep who have managed to be invited in, but we are happy where we are.
Invited in.
The rulers,
Would you ever want that?
the lords of Waterdeep, have allowed... Well, there has been a rumour that the lords of Waterdeep, secretive though they are, have allowed a dragon in to protect great riches.
I might have to look into that.
They, no, we have no interest of entering the town. We are quite happy here with our treasures.
Out of curiosity, are we still in the shipwreck? I'm guessing some of these treasures are nearby and visible.
The ships that you've seen have been picked fairly clean, but they all have sort of dragon-shaped holes in the sides of the shipwrecks, like effectively torn open presents.
Beautiful. I love that.
In my
So
brain, they're just
visually
Looney Tunes-esque holes.
Just because I'm well aware that I kind of dropped you on this, this randomly. If you ever know something that you desire from the city or from beneath that you can't reach, let me know.
If I hear of anything that I desire, I'll find a way to reach out to you. I'll send send a messenger.
Yeah, I think Vason does sort of like a ritual bow from the temple, and just excuses himself and swims up to the surface.
The shape
Assuming he's
just
allowed to.
the shape, as you turn to swim away, just flies off into the distance.
Oh, I don't want to do that. Yeah, Vason swims back to the surface, tries and find Chekhov in that boat, and goes back to Trollskull.
And I think as you return to Trollskull, I'm going to call a close to this session, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time when existential crises will continue.
Yay.
And hopefully some of us might get back into the dungeon again.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Whoa,
Hopefully we will.
actually,
Hello.
before we finish,
Oh no.
Wol,
Oh no.
is Wol going to follow Vason's advice and get some sleep?
Of course not.
Roll me a
Right.
Constitution saving throw.
Going with
Damn
that,
it.
is there any chance that I heard that conversation of Vason? Was that in front? Was that in general in front of people, or was that aside?
Oh, that was aside. I literally went
Okay.
and privately
In which
visited.
case, never mind. That's fine. Carry on.
21, baby.
Okay.
Never sleeping again.
Could you also make me a Wisdom saving throw?
God damn it. I feel something real fucking bad is gonna happen. But, I mean, as long as it's not a strength check, we're fine. Unless I roll a 10, which I did.
Okay. Wol, you don't fall asleep throughout the night. And you just keep working away on the projects. And as the dawn comes the following day, you spot a bit of work that we're going to talk about between sessions and will reveal next time. But for now, all it remains for me to do is find my notes of what I say at the end of streams now.